Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin from Florals.com and today I have another process video for you guys. I hope you guys are having a great end to 2019 and looking forward to 2020, and I hope you're having fun celebrating the holidays with your loved ones. But today I have a really quick layout for you guys. It only took me about 30 minutes to complete. I'm using this beautiful mint colored background from Coordinations cardstock, which you can pick up at like Michael's and Joann's, and it's got this white polka dot. And I have two photos here of a different time that I went to a park. And they're just one vertical, one horizontal. You guys know that's my typical photo printage. I like to take tons of different types of photos, and this is what I usually end up printing for a lot of different events or days. I'm also working with this MFT paper pad I picked up a bit ago because I thought it'd be great to start using some of the new supplies that I have and really focusing on using them in the new year. But my trouble was lining up the diagonals. I wanted these to be treated like a 12-inch long strip of paper, which of course wasn't the case. But I did manage to line them up just slightly off center, so we're going to have to border these with something to make sure that you can't really tell that there's a mismatch there. But it really reads as one piece of paper when you do this correctly. So I start looking at my washi tape because that's what I use often to border between papers that are struggling, and I end up picking out this one. I believe this is from Pebbles. One of the Girl Squad collections or something similar to that. This is the only thing I have from that collection, but I think it is so pretty. It's like a light pink base with blues, greens, navies, different floralettes on there. I also tried to use this beautiful pink piece, but I actually ran out, so I couldn't use the 12-inch strip. So I will use the short, I think it's about 7-inch strip that's left. And I finished a roll of washi tape in December. Who would have known? And let alone it be pink. But I think it works out well in the end. Just sticking that on there, even though it doesn't serve a total purpose, it helps bring in more of the pink at the very least. So as I mentioned when I was sharing this layout during Vlogmas, and if you guys did not check out Vlogmas and you have some time and you want to learn more about me or what I do or the behind the scenes of scrapbooking, check out Vlogmas. I'll have the playlist linked down below so you guys can check it out. But I believe that this will officially be the second to last process video for the year. I think one will go up on the 31st. So make sure you check that out. And again, I hope you guys have a very great new year, and I'm sure it's going to be filled with craftiness and happiness. And yeah, so as I'm gluing everything down, I'm taking that washi strip and putting it at the top and the bottom. Now, I accidentally cover up a ton at the top, so I'm glad that I have it in two places. It's sort of, you could also think of it as paper strips. So if you don't like washi tape, you could do something like this with paper, or you could do something like this with borders. I know a lot of people cut off the branding strips, and that could serve well in this sort of case. But it helps create a clean, straight across line where there wasn't one before, where it was more so just a, jagged line because they didn't line up properly. And this is only 2 times fast, so I know that some people wonder how long it takes me to make videos, but just know that this one didn't take too long. Here I actually pull out a piece from my stash that is very old. It's actually a die cut that I created from my Cricut expression. Yes, Cricut expression is the oldie, but I cut these, it's got to be a couple years now. I actually pulled out my Cricut and used it, and I had one of these left over, so I ended up taking it and just simply using it on this layout. It's not the same shade of pink, it's definitely more of a bubblegum pink, but I still think it works well in this layout, so that'll be tucked under the left side of the photos here. And what I also really like about this layout is that it's top heavy rather than bottom heavy, because a lot of my layouts personally have been bottom heavy or side heavy, and I haven't experimented much with the top heavy, so that's kind of what I'm diving into today. And this color scheme was kind of inspired by this Dear Lizzie sticker sheet. There's these beautiful houses, there's florals that are in this pink, yellow, and mint color scheme, and there's also some navy in this collection, so it worked really well for me to pick out these papers and then this sticker sheet. And it just goes to show that you can really just mix and match collections, mix and match designers, mix and match all sorts of different things to really pull something off. I got really lucky with these mint colors matching really well. And even though there's tons of different pinks here, I think it works well because we have that dotted washi tape that has a couple pinks, and it helps just give a little bit more. Now at this point, I know I want to map my photos on something, but I'm really just not sure what. I've been looking through some 6x6 paper pads and just haven't decided on what to use. I also know that I need to find an alphabet for a title, and that I also need to figure out what I want to do for any more embellishments. So I actually end up going for this 6x6 paper pad, which is the Carnival paper pad from Colorbach, and it's actually, I got it on Amazon for $3, and it's really, really thin paper, but if you like to do a lot of colors, or if you like to work with a lot of these kind of colors, it works great for paper layering because they're thin, but they add the color that you need. I pick out these polka dot ones because they have pink, mint, I think they have the yellow in there as well, and it has a darker teal color, which isn't exactly like the navy, but it still works well. And even though these will just be thin slices around the photo, they still have a nice impact for bringing in those yellows, pinks, and blues within the color scheme of this layout. Also be careful when you lay your stickers down because they might stick to your photo a little bit too much. Luckily that didn't happen here, but it can happen, so be careful when you're placing things. But I'm really, really happy with how this layout is headed and where it's going. I have a lot of those stickers that I've been trying to use from Dear Lizzie, and I think in 2020, and again, you guys can follow along in the 2020 Creative Reset series, personally my goals will be oriented towards creating more and using more, but also creating projects that I've been neglecting or wanting to do, especially gift projects. I've been wanting to make a lot of scrapbooks for other people and just haven't made time for it because I know if it's someone else's photos, I can't put it up on the internet. So I'm going to work on making some things that are not necessarily for me but for others in 2020. So follow along in the 2020 Creative Reset series, which goes up on Saturdays. I'll also have that playlist linked down below so you guys can catch up if you haven't already, but definitely check that out if you're interested. And so here I'm going to glue down my photos. I actually push everything up just a little bit more than it was originally, but I'm still happy with how it turned out. We have that pink washi tape strip that helps create a shelf, and then it's also sitting on the regular cardstock, or the pattern paper shelf rather, there in like the 2/3 point of this layout. And then we also have like the little wagon wheel die cut. I cannot tell you what cartridge that is from or any other information other than it's right there and that's what it looked like. I'm not sure. I know I cut it out of some pink cardstock that I had in my stash, but I'd really love to use my Cricut again, just like to do some batch cutting of some of the cartridge items that I have because I don't see a reason to get rid of it, but I really don't use it. I think if I do ever get rid of it, I don't think I'll get another die cut machine. It seems a lot more hassle than it's worth for me. I don't like backing die cuts. I don't like doing that kind of thing. But if it's your thing, definitely go for it. I know it's a big trend right now to do cut files and cut file titles, but I just never got into that. Here I'm pulling out some die cuts from my die cut storage, which I did get some questions about. I talked more about this on my Patreon because it's not something I'm confident in, which is why I did like a test run video over there, and I'm kind of testing this sort of storage off screen. But so far so good, and I'll probably bring a video about it soon once I know the lasting effects of it, but I've only done it for a few months and that's not enough time to realize what might happen to the longevity of this kind of setup. So here I have a couple of things going on. I have my stickers in place. I think I know where I want them. I'm kind of looking for things that might need to fill up some of the other bits, so maybe some freeze stickers or some die cuts that could go along with this, like the houses, which I definitely didn't need to put houses on this layout. It's a park. There are buildings in the background, but those are the park buildings, not necessarily houses, but I think it works well in terms of like hometown feel or anything like that. Your nature photos don't have to be super naturey, and that's what I really enjoyed doing on this layout, was taking something that was, you know, identifiably a specific color scheme. It was green and, you know, the blue sky, and I didn't really go with those. I went with mint and navy, which are a bit different, and the pink is definitely a bit different, but I really, really enjoyed working on this and going outside my comfort zone in terms of color, and I think you guys should definitely do that if you're interested in 2020. I think it could bring a lot of great creative challenge and creative mojo to take on these kinds of challenges. Here I'm trying to audition this phrase piece that says daydreaming from Doodlebug, which is super cute and I love the style of it. I think it fit well with the other styles of the Dear Lizzie products, but it was just too large for this layout, which also makes me really sad because I can understand why people love digital scrapbooking, because you can size things the way you want and everything comes out the way you want without having to jump through hoops, for example. But I don't think I could ever get rid of my paper crafting because I like the hands-on. I like punching and cutting and tearing and ripping. and inking and all that other fun stuff. I ended up pulling out these Amy Tangerine phrase stickers, which are from one of her collections. I don't think it says on the package, but there's some that say like "Meet me in the sunshine," "Remember this," those kind of phrases, and I really love the pink status, despite them not matching any of the pinks on this page. We've really gone off the deep end with these pinks, but I don't mind. I think sometimes you need to do that in order to, you know, find a happy medium, because it can be hard to mix and match things, especially if you are someone who likes to stick with the same color schemes and you're running out of certain things. But really, really, really try to jump out of your color comfort zone, work with some new color schemes. You guys can kind of tell, but I usually only work in color schemes of 3 to 4, sometimes just 1, sometimes 2, but I usually don't go past like 5-ish colors on a layout. Unless it's a really crazy background paper or something, and then I still only pick a couple to work from. It's okay to have multiple colors in your layout that aren't necessarily the focus or not necessarily introduced X, Y, or Z amount of times, because scrapbooking has no rules, so it's up to you guys to decide what you want and how you like it. But I hope you guys like a creative challenge, and we'll try some new and different color schemes sometime soon. My title ends up being Stroll in the Park, thanks to these jelly bean soup stickers that my friend Dolly sent me. And here are the close-ups. It's actually really simple. I do wish I had texture or dimension on it. I could have put some of these on foam adhesive, but I was actually in a rush to film these. So I'm really glad it came out the way it did, because sometimes rushing layouts is hard and they don't come out well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys again very soon. Bye guys!